Okay. Well, we are in church, so praise the Lord, everybody. Okay, I'm done. Thank you guys for coming to the Ava Me Autism Community Fun Day. Ow! Okay. uh, you guys just warmed my heart, and oh, I feel so special, and God is amazing. So we're going to have Dea and Sierra. They are going to come up and introduce themselves and tell us how long they've been in the business, why they decided to choose this to be their profession, and to answer whatever questions you guys have, and to come and bless our lives. So, Dale, would you like to come together or? Oh, I thought so. Thank you, ladies, for sacrificing your time to be here with Ava and me.
Of course. Alrighty. Go ahead. All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for coming. Thanks for having me. This is my first time speaking about the field and about the science in a public setting like this, so do bear with me if I stumble across my words or it takes me time to generate my thoughts. My name's Indea. I have been in the field of ABA for about 7 years now. I have always worked with the youth in some capacity. I've worked for like after-school programs, Bright Futures, Trio, Upper Bound programs, ways that give back to the youth in different ways. When I was almost done with my undergrad program, COVID happened, everything went remote, and I am not a work-from-home person, I found out very quickly, so I went to find something that was kind of related in my field. I was getting my bachelor's degree in psychology at the time, and ABA clinics were still open. So I knew that ABA was kind of related to psychology and neuroscience, so I was like, okay, I'll try this. Got the job there, and Ava was my first client as a technician back in 2019, 2018. She was like 3 at the time, and she was my client the entire time. I had other learners that I worked with too, but I worked with her primarily the entire time that I was at Chitter Chatter. Then I was at Chitter Chatter for a few years, and then after about 2 years, I say, working in the field, I decided that I wanted to specialize and master it just because it was very rewarding. I was learning a lot, and I felt like it taught me about the whys of behavior in a way that psychology doesn't. And I feel like that was really concrete for me. So once I decided to major, I sadly left Chitter Chatter, but I still can remain in contact with you guys. I still hang out with Ava to this day. She was a really big part of the reason why I decided to specialize in the field. I got my master's degree. I got my bachelor's degree from the U of M, Michigan of Dearborn, and then I got my master's degree from the University of North Texas in Dallas. I got my master's in applied behavior analysis. I just got my master's degree in December of 2024, and I sat and passed my exam in May of 2025, and I've been a BCBA since May of 2025. Yeah, your turn.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Sierra Barrett, and me and Dad kind of have the same background. I kind of been in the field for since 2022. I started off as a tech, just working with different kids on the spectrum from the age of about 7 to 18 years old. And then I left that clinic, and then that's where I kind of met Dea at our current clinic that we're at. So I kind of got into the field because, honestly, by mistake, honestly. When I graduated from my undergrad, I didn't know kind of what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do some type of therapy, some form of therapy. So I applied for what I thought was a job as a receptionist for some reason. And then I got to my first clinic, and it was not a receptionist job at all. But I started to really fall in love with the field. I started to really like working with kids. I like understanding why certain things go on, how certain things happen. I just always wanted to know the why behind things. So that's kind of how I got into the field. So I graduated with my master's degree in July of 2025. And then thank you. Um, thank you. And then I sat and I actually passed my exam in February, not too long ago. So I'm kind of new as a BCBA, still learning, still getting my footing on the ground. Thank you. So it's nice to have Dea on my side. Like I said, we work together, so it's nice to have her on my side to kind of guide me through what I'm doing.
I do feel like God put us in the right place at the right time.
For sure.
Yeah.
So something me and Dea kind of do together along with our other colleagues. So we work with kids from the ages between 3 through 8 years old. So we work on just different skills throughout their time when they're with us. So we work on communication skills, self-advocacy skills, daily living skills, hygiene skills.
Social skills, just about anything that will help them be more independent in their life. Every ABA is individualized for that learner. So whatever is important for them personally, if they're old enough to communicate those kind of wants and needs, or what's important to their immediate family and their stakeholders, those are the kind of goals that we work on in the clinic. I'm not a diagnosing physician, so I just want to preface that. But autism is diagnosed based on 5 core differences between neurotypical peers and neuroatypical peers, and it is with sensory processing and regulation, social and communication, restrictive and repetitive behaviors. So communication and social interaction are a little bit different. So communication and social are 2 different ones, but depending on where they are on that spectrum. So I think when people think of a spectrum, they think of a color spectrum that goes from left to right, from less to more. Autism is more of a color wheel, and you might have more reds and blues than yellows and greens, but it doesn't, one's not in front of the other necessarily. So ABA is a process. We work on the foundation. In ABA, that's where we start. We kind of teach them the skills that they need to learn from their environment without so much someone having to teach them directly.
Yeah, and another thing we do, we work with parents a lot of the time as well. We work with our kids that we work with them all the time, but we also collaborate with a lot of parents as well. So we have parent trainings with the parents that we work with. We kind of get their ideas of what they want to work on when it comes to things within their household as well. I think a lot of families forget that they're on this journey with their kids as well.
Yes.
So we offer a lot of support to the parents as well. Like I said, parent trainings. Sometimes, depending on the families, we'll go into the household with them and do different parent trainings with them just to kind of see how we can target things within the household as well as in our clinic as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. ABA, it's a village process for real. You need your parents, family members, community members. So we do a lot of collaboration in the clinic as well. So not only do we meet with parents and collaborate with parents, but we have opportunities to, let's say this particular learner is working on tolerating the sensory needs you would need to tolerate in a barbershop setting or a tooth cleaning setting, at the dentist. We would go with them and kind of observe. So everything that we do, we have to observe the behavior ourselves to make clinical decisions. I can't, there's a lot of different variables that can affect how behavior shows up in a particular environment, and someone just reporting to me is not enough. I have to really see it, and that's how we determine the progress that they're making. We take data. It is a science. ABA is a science. It's a therapy, but it is a science. We are licensed. We take a board exam like pharmacologists and doctors. We have an extensive fieldwork program. So it's a thing. It's not. It's hard to explain because it can look so many different ways. ABA is everywhere. It is the principles of reinforcement and punishment, and that sounds very clinical, but it's basically any outcome that our behaviors contact that make a behavior more likely to occur in the future, and that happens in our everyday lives all the time. when your phone goes off, you're going to check it because you receive some kind of social communication that's reinforcing for you. So you check your phone all the time. What's another like day-to-day example?
Another day-to-day example, so a lot of our kids, let's say, are working on just basic functional communication. So with a lot of the kids that we work with, we're working on them being able to tell us when they're all done. Like, let's say they're all done eating food. Working on them letting us know when they're all done with something, when they want more of something, when they want to turn with something. So a lot of things that we do to kind of help those skills grow is we accept all forms of communication. As soon as we kind of notice those basic skills of functional communication, we go ahead, we reinforce it, whether that's us telling them good job, whether that's giving them something that they really like, so that they can make that connection that when I functionally request for all done or I want more of something, then I will get a good job, or I'll get a high five, or I'll get a toy, or something along those lines like that.
We at least in our clinic, we follow, we have a naturalistic environment teaching setting. So we kind of follow the lead of the learner and what teaching opportunities present themselves throughout the day. And of course we contrive some situations so they have more opportunities to work on certain skills, but we're in like an open, it's like a preschool, so they have a one-to-one, and so they have opportunities to engage with peers, and we work on them appropriately requesting or appropriately sharing with the peer, waiting turns, taking turns. We use a lot of supports, visual supports, to help them understand the expectations around them. We do honor a lot of their any of their communication that they can show us, because behavior is communication, even if you're not vocal communicator. When our children cry, or a lot of our friends will lead us to something, or they'll bring us something, like those are all forms of communication, and we shape those behaviors so that they are more, so everyone can understand, not just mom or dad, but everyone can understand what they're trying to communicate so they can get their needs met no matter where they are.
And that's what we do.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes, Ava. Where do I live? I can tell you where I work. Did you need something?
Ask a better question.
So where's your favorite food though?
My favorite food changes. I go through phases. I think my favorite food right now is it's kind of embarrassing. Bang Bang Shrimp from Garage. I'm hooked on that right now. Or Bonefish. Bonefish has really good bang bang shrimp too. It's really good, a little spicy. Yeah. Do you want to answer your favorite?
My favorite food is chicken tenders and fries.
Oh, okay.
Proud favorite.
How often do you meet with the youth or the child? How many days a week and how long?
So how long a client spends in therapy is prescribed, kind of like medication. So they come in, we'll do an assessment from anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. We start that assessment with an interview with the parent. We ask them questions about like their home life, their routine, what goes really well, what they feel like their learners' strengths are. And then we also talk about what barriers they might have or how their communication typically looks like, even if that's not vocal, just so that we have a picture of what to expect once we take them to the clinic and start to assess based on our curriculum. Depending on the severity of their deficits and if they have additional support needs or challenging behaviors, or if their frustration toleration is a little bit lower, or maybe if they're a little bit younger or older, that all of those things we take into account how long that we are going to prescribe them to be there. So let's say, for example, I have a learner that I prescribe to be there for 30 hours during the week of therapy. It is intense, and at this age group, from 3 to 8, this is it's the opportune window for when you can teach those skills and make change in shaping maladaptive behavior. So that's why it's so intense. Research shows that the earlier that you start the intervention and the more intense it is during that age range, the more effective it tends to be. So we'll meet, for our clinic requirements, we have to see them for at least 10% of those hours that they are prescribed. So for a learner that's there for 30 hours, I have to see them for at least 3 hours a week, but I can see them up to 6 hours a week. But because the way our clinic is set up, even if I'm not directly with that learner, I see my clients every day. I'm always there, I'm always available for support, just the way that our clinic runs, like BCBAs are expected to be there. So I'm always in the loop, I know what's going on. And then with parents, it depends on the parent. We can meet as frequently as once a week or once every 2 weeks. We usually will then talk about I'll give them updates on how things are going in the clinic. They'll give me updates on things how things are going at home, and if I maybe gave them any recommendations on how to make this routine or encourage a particular behavior, I kind of follow up on that in our next meeting. I'll even invite them back. I love having parents in session because I want them to see that, like, I want you to come see. Like, I can tell you, but I can show you better than I can tell you. And I think the parents like to see it too. I think it helps put a visual to the things that we say in our meetings when they can actually see it in action, and I can actually model and show them how to do it.
No, I don't really have anything else to say. Basically what Daya just said, it kind of just depends on the child and their needs and where they're at. So we see kids mostly every day, just kind of depends on what we, like Daya said, prescribe for them. So we have some kids we see every day from 9 to 4, some kids 9 to 5, some kids Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 5. It kind of just depends on where they're at behavior-wise, skill acquisition-wise, and what we think is best for them.
I know you mentioned working with the community. Do you also work within the schools? Do you ever go to the school where that child is and communicate with that teacher?
Yeah.
On their skills.
So sometimes we do work with schools. We have the parents. They're kind of like the person who's in the middle, who's helping facilitate the communication with schools. A lot of the times, some of the clients that we see or some of the clients that we have, they might have an IEP or some type of plan in place. So that's kind of when me and Daya come into place as well, to try to advocate for them in the schools and try to let schools and parents know kind of the type of supports that they might need to have in school put in place. So we do meet with schools. Sometimes some BCBAs may go into the school and talk with the teachers and other supports they have in place at school. We do a lot of advocacy for our clients, a lot of describing what they need put in place to help them be successful in school compared to maybe their neurotypical peers.
So we have a question in the back here.
Yes.
So if there is a age out, is there after age out program set up for those that may age out of your program? And then what kind of help is that afterwards?
Some clinics do have like an early intervention and then ABA therapy for 8 and up to like 21 usually. I've only worked in a clinic that services 3 to 8. However, there are clinics in the area that do service up to that age. Some learners may need more support in the home and may age out and go to school and then have ABA in the home afterwards. So usually when we do have a learner that does age out, we will have a discharge meeting. So we're a collaborative center, so we also have speech and OT in the building with us, and we will collaborate on where our disciplines intersect. So we, BCBAs, in ABA, the science of ABA views communication and language and behavior in a certain way, and so does OT and speech. So we kind of try to come together to meet the learner in the best way that we can, given all of our different disciplines and kind of aligning those goals. So we do have a discharge meeting where we all come together, talk about what recommendations we have. I think we still service OT and speech after 8, but they would have to go elsewhere for ABA. But we do provide, like once we have that meeting, we then meet with parents and have a discharge meeting. Speech and OT will sometimes come if they feel like they have information that they needed to share. And then we usually will recommend either clinics in the area or if they're a learner that's made a lot of progress and they're just aging out because they've met their goals, we have, or I will recommend like summer programs or other curricular things that work on rule following and or discipline or just other teamwork skills like karate, swim, maybe even like cheer, football, summer camps. There are some social summer camps that are specifically for learners on the spectrum. There's not that very many. That is a need, but we don't just like send them on their way like, okay, good luck. We do have a whole like discharge process, and we're usually, or at least I'm still available to my clients' parents after the fact if they ever have any questions or they're not really sure or they need documentation from me. Kind of how Sierra mentioned about us collaborating with teachers and IEPs, like if we're getting ready for them to go to school, like we bring what we've seen from ABA to the school and see how we can bridge what our recommendations for accommodations are and what they're able to provide, like where they can meet.
Hello.
Where are you? Oh.
I wasn't here in the beginning. Where are you located?
Oh, so we work at a clinic in Canton. We do have a location in Novi and Brighton, so it's a little far west, but it's on Ford Road and Lots? Yeah, Ford Road and Lots, right across the way from that Walmart and Sam's Club, Cat and Imagine, same parking lot as Cat and Imagine and Hook and Reel. That's where the location that we are at is located. If you...
And you do have openings, correct?
I believe so. Mm-hmm.
We have a wait list.
We do have a wait list.
Thank you.
We have a wait list. But still reach out.
Hi, I have a question regarding the parents of the children. Of course, we as parents, we want our children to be picture perfect. And when, of course, sometimes it's noticed that something has to be done with regard to therapy, you have parents that, and I know a few, that are in denial, and they decide that they won't do any type of learning activities for their child, or they're denying that anything is possibly wrong, or they're not atypical, they are typical. And how do you handle that? Because of course this is detrimental to the child.
This is a good question. We were just talking about that. ABA, like I said earlier, it is a village process, and it is a process that may not always... ABA is like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Okay, go ahead.
So ABA is a collaboration field. We collaborate with families, teachers, everyone within the lives. Sometimes, yes, we do come in contact with parents who may not always agree with the things that we say, may not like the things that we say. So it can be hard when you kind of don't have that buy-in from people within their lives. And I think a lot of the times that's where we come in and have those meetings where we do have to be honest with the parents, and we do have to explain to them that this is the reality that we're working with right now, not to say that things cannot improve, not to say behaviors can't improve in the future, but me and Dea sometimes have to have those hard conversations and really set parents down and let them know that this is what's happening right now. And these are the years, like Dea said, these are like the early years where we should be working on these things now, so then when they're 16, 18, they already have those foundational skills set up for them. So I think for us, it's being able to, again, have those hard conversations and explain that just because it's hard right now doesn't mean it's always going to be like this, but we need buy-in from both sides. And sometimes it doesn't always happen, but we explain that if you're here, if you're working with us, you're working with us for a reason, and we don't want to waste your time, so therefore we need buy-in from both sides, or we might not see a difference. And sometimes that's hard for parents to hear, but I think when we do have those honest conversations and they kind of do understand that this is what it is, then we get a little bit more. We get a little bit more buy-in from them. So, yeah.
I also think because of the age group that we serve, we get a lot of first-time parents, and I am not a parent yet, so I do try to be as empathetic as I can, because you love your babies, you want the best for them, and you care about them, and you want them to be the best that they can. And I think it's we have to be very, because we don't want to damage the rapport that we have with our parents either, but we also do want to make it clear, kind of like you said, that these are the times where we need to start working on those skills, and you want them we want to, raise them up while they're young to have, or work on skills in a certain way. I think we have parents sometimes that because they know their son or daughter needs more support, that they are more likely to do more for them and don't give them the opportunity to be independent. I think a lot of our learners can do some of these things, they just have never been expected to. And that is something that we have to get them to understand. And then also understanding that like ABA is, I think a lot of parents come in wanting, they have goals that are a little farther down the line. And if you think of ABA like building a house, like you need like the foundation and you need all of these other prerequisites before you can start putting up paint and putting in decorations and making the house look the way that you want it to. And I think that is the hard thing to explain because it's going to take some time. It's not an overnight process, and you have to think realistically about what your child's future is going to look like, even if it's not what you expected in the beginning. But starting young, accepting that while they're 3 and working to get them to be the best place that they possibly can be is better than helping them so much so to where they're unable to help themselves.
Is there a mandate for those that are
So per their contractual obligation with the clinic, they do have to meet with us at least once a month or twice a month. And if they repeatedly fail to do so, then we will discharge them because ABA can't start and stop when they get to the clinic. Those expectations, those skills that they learn, those boundaries that we put in place have to extend at home as well, because that is really where it matters. Like here, this is where we can, at ABA is where we can reinforce like those skills. But if, we work for 40 hours a week and on Friday they go home on the weekend and if no expectations are in place, then on Monday, we're back where we started.
One more question.
What are some of the signs that a child has autism?
I am not clinically trained to be able to tell you specifically, but I do know that the core deficits of autism involve, yes, a parent may be able to tell. Or y'all may be able to share what signs you saw before diagnosis to, yeah.
Absolutely. For us, it was, and I was one of those parents that was in denial. I was definitely in denial. Angie was saying something was wrong. I was saying, no, it ain't. But it actually was at the time. But thanks to Dare, look at Ava now. So the signs that Angie saw in Ava was she wasn't responding to her name when we called her. So she would, the doctor actually told us that Ava was ignoring us, and Angie said that, it was something more than that. So that was one sign. And then another sign was Ava wouldn't look you directly in your eye. She wouldn't look us directly in our eyes, and she had little quirks and stuff like that. And then that was the signs that we saw. And that was it right there. There's more though, I know.
And I can share like just some of the things that our friends do, like just generally, not like specifically. Very restricted or specialized interest, or interest in things that, or toys or play in ways that your neurotypical child may not play. Maybe they gravitate more towards inanimate objects, but because of the way this object moves, or they're really into visual sensory input, or Ava used to like to smell stuff all the time. I used to have scented Play-Doh, scented kinetic sand, because that's what she liked. And there are some kids that have special interests. Like I have a kid, he's 4, but he can name the longest dinosaur name. And I've had kids that, when I was a tech with like my not Ava, but my other learner, he was all into outer space and could tell me how many moons Jupiter has. So like our kids are special and unique in so many different ways, and their special interests can be a good thing for them. Like I had a learner that loved numbers. He would have me write he would have me write with the crayon, count by 5s, count by 2s, I mean up to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, just writing it over and over again. And we would work, and his reinforcement was to keep counting these numbers. And he was five, I think, at the time. And he's probably like 9 or 10 now. So just like as he gets older, like just being specially gifted in different areas, like every kid has their own thing. Okay. Any other questions? Ooh, you want to go first? Okay.
I asked, what's the most rewarding of what you do?
Oh, I feel like it's so many things. I think the most rewarding thing for me is like when you, especially like with me kind of being a newer BCBA, like when you have been working on a certain skill for like so long with a certain client. Like I've had a client in the past, like all we worked on was really her just telling us functional communication. So like just telling us that she wanted to be all done with something. We worked on that for so long. And so it's like once you finally hit that milestone of like them actually doing something that you worked on for so long, I feel like that's the biggest reward. Like, oh wow, I really made a difference, or wow, I really did what I was supposed to do.
Oh my God, I can't. Yes, the first moments are like the rush. It's like that is what we do it for. And I also love when like I do have parent meetings and I check in with parents and they tell me like, yeah, I'm seeing progress at home, or she's starting to do this, or he's starting to do that at home. And it's just, it makes you feel good to know that like, okay, I do know what I'm doing a little bit, you know. And it also is rewarding just the relationships that we have with our kids. Like, because we're in clinic all the time, every day, like my kids are happy to see me, they're happy to show up. When I come for supervision, they're happy, and when I have to go, they're sad. Like, it's nice to know that they feel comfortable enough to do challenging things and know that I'm going to be there to help them and support them and meet them wherever they are. And I feel like that is what makes the relationship there. Like I think it's to be those boundaries, and having boundaries and telling children no, I think it is really more important than giving them everything that they need, because I think it shows them that you know, like you're predictable. Like when you say no, your no is no and your yes is yes. And that relieves a lot of anxiety around just their general operation in the home and in their communities and their environment. Anything else? Yes.
Okay, so sometimes people don't catch it at a young age, and you have adults nowadays that are autistic but don't know it. What is something that you can recognize in an adult that might tell them that, or tell them they might need to just get checked? Or what are things that you can do as an adult to like work on the autistic side of yourself?
So I do know that there are some BCBAs that are like independent contractors that work specifically with adults. There are some clinics and companies that work specifically in group homes or in adult settings. I'm not versed very well in the adult space of ABA, but like I said, I'm not clinically trained or credentialed enough to make any assumptions about anyone's diagnosis. The ADOS is a very long and extensive assessment to determine whether they have autism or not. But I do think that, so autism is a genetic disorder, and many of our learners, family members, to me, sometimes, and like communication-wise usually, or social-wise, it's very hard to explain, but sometimes you can tell like in a social context setting, like communication, like they can speak fine. It's hard to explain, really, but when you've been around it for so long, you know what tendencies there are, or like what to look for. Or even some parents that may not have it, but they may have a family member or their father or their uncle or grandparent, somewhere in their genetic pool, someone has or was diagnosed with autism. I hope that answered. Yes. I don't know where the microphone is.
Mhm.
So they have a hard time making eye contact, a hard time. They have a hard time making eye contact, a hard time understanding like social cues and like reading a room,
Yes.
things like that.
Mhm.
So it's basically the exact same thing with kids. As far as what was I gonna say? Services, they do have adult services, and they do have like this, basically the exact same thing that you could do with a kid. You do the exact same thing for an adult.
And then too, with adults, it's a little different. Like they might have more specialized goals. So maybe this particular adult wants to be a mechanic. So all of his goals and everything that they work on in the home are going to be skills that relate to him meeting his ultimate goal of becoming a mechanic. So that could be as broad as learning how to fix a car to as small or detailed as how to interact during an interview to get a job, what to wear during an interview, what is socially appropriate, how to time manage so that you get to your job on time, how to grocery shop, like all of the things, the little things that we don't think about day to day are the things that some adults who are on the spectrum may need support with.
Okay, if someone, well, this is someone's question, but I'm going to say it. If someone was in denial, what would you say to them if they was in denial? What would you say to them? Oh, Sierra, thank you.
Oh, of course, no problem. If someone was in denial, I would say that autism is not like the end of the road. It's not, I know it's hard in the moment, and I'm not a parent, so I can't say from a parent perspective, but I know it's not the end of the world. It's not a all or nothing kind of thing. I would say this is just something that adds a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, individualized care to their life. It adds a little bit more adversity to their life, but I think that's what makes them them. So I would say that it's hard in the moment, but it's something that can be worked on. It's something that can be worked through, and it's something, there's so many resources out here, not even just like what we do, but so many support groups, so many family therapies, so many different things that, online communities, forums. So I would say it's not the end of the road, it's not the end of the world. I know that it's hard, but it's something that can be worked on, worked through, and I'm a big advocate for starting early. Starting early makes all the difference, in my opinion.
And I also think that for some, I'm not even trying to get them to accept or confirm or deny. Our jobs is to, where they are and the skills that they have, give them a specialized way to gain more skills in teaching them how to learn. So teaching them how to observe and learn from their environment. Teaching those pivotal skills to teach them like things that if I teach you how to read, like you can apply for jobs, you can read books, like it opens up your world a lot more. Just like when a baby learns to walk, now they can get on top of the table and the counter and they get into stuff. So as they learn those, we teach those foundational skills, especially that young. And then as they get older, then we start working on more external things that others are more likely to notice. And I think as we work on those things in the clinic, that in and of itself is enough to get parent buy-in, because they are like, okay, they've in ABA, or I'm starting to see this, or like they're starting to tell me my turn, or they don't even cry, or his tantrums are a lot shorter, or whatever it is, in whatever way that they see that improvement. I think that what they see sometimes convinces them more than anything I could ever tell them.
Okay, we have one more question. Oh, well.
How long should a parent expect to be on a waiting list before they get the help?
It depends. Some places have very long wait lists, and I can't give you like an exact ETA. Also, the other thing that plays into part is once you're off the wait list, insurance sometimes is also another thing that we have to wait on. So like for us, we have kids like on our wait list, we finally get them off the wait list, we do their assessment, so now we have to wait for insurance to approve the assessment that we wrote. Some insurances, they get back to us like that, and then some insurances, it takes quite a bit. Oh no. I know like for us, something that we do something that our clinic does is we work really hard with staying on top of insurance to make sure that they get back to us in a timely fashion. But as far as like waiting on a wait list, I don't have like an ETA. I would say always follow up though, always keep in contact. Yeah, keep calling, stay in contact with them. I don't know how long our wait list is, if I'm being honest with you, but I do know that we're always moving to try to get people in. So keep calling, stay in contact with them, stay on top of them as well. And then like us, we do our part by staying on top of insurance all the time.
One more question. Is it common for children with Down syndrome to be autistic?
So it's not too common. I haven't seen it. It does happen. At my last, not the current clinic that I'm at, but at my last clinic, I did work with a child who had Down syndrome. I don't know if he also had a dual diagnosis of autism, but he did come, this was at my past clinic, not my current one. But he did come to our clinic and we worked on skill acquisition skills, daily living skills with him. So it's not too common from my understanding. I don't want to say 100% no, but from my understanding, it's not too common. But again, at my last clinic, I did work with someone who had Down syndrome and we worked on, again, daily living skills, communication skills, skill acquisition skills, etc. I hope that helps answer your question.
It did.
Okay.
And then one more thing.
Okay, I got you. Go for it.
I just wanted to give a thank you, Mom, Dad, ladies, for helping us with our kids.
Of course. Of course. It really is, it's hard. We understand, and I know I'm not there every night, but 40 hours a week, I'm dealing with these behaviors firsthand too. So I definitely understand, and I can only imagine the amount of patience and strength that it takes to raise a child that has special needs, especially if you have more than one child. So I try my best to be as supportive as I can for my parents. As you can see, I'm here for Ava's mom. So wherever I can or however I can show up in the community, I like to do my best to meet. I like to advocate for their clients and their learners as much as their parents do. I like to think it's very important to me as a BCBA.
So I'm going to kind of piggyback off of the Down, but what about children with ADHD and autism?
Yes, very common. I have not met too many children that have Down syndrome and ASD, but I've had Williams-Turner syndrome, a couple of students who have that, or cerebral palsy and autism. But ADHD and ASD seem to be comorbid for a lot of learners, even if they're not diagnosed. Now, I'm also not, I'm not a diagnosing physician, but I do, from having worked with kids that are diagnosed ADHD, when I have learners that exhibit some of those same struggles and impulsivity as learners that do have ADHD, it makes me consider, and sometimes I'll even suggest to parents for additional screening. Of course, it's a hard topic to have sometimes, conversation to have, I'm sorry. But having an accurate diagnosis and knowing exactly what supports they do need is going to help them in the long run, instead of pretending that it's not there,
It's not really a question, it's more of an encouragement to the mom and other moms. I'm a mother of an autistic daughter. She's now 21. Well, she'll be 21 in June. She's also a triplet, so as you was mentioning, it's difficult when you do have multiple children and then you have a child that is autistic, but it does get better. I'm a witness that it gets better when you get them the assistance that they need.
And as a BCBA too,
it gets better. We had it rough. She was eloping from the house. She went missing so many times, and it was only the grace of God that kept her. I was just on my way here, and I was crying tears when I didn't think we were going to make it. And to look and see she's about to be 21 next month is only a blessing from the Lord. So it gets better. And another thing I learned is to not stifle them, because she was at home, she was one way. Then when she went to school, she was doing stuff at school that I didn't think she could do.
like hang up her coat and clean off her area. When she was coming home, we was treating her like a princess. Like, oh, you ain't gotta do nothing. Not knowing she knew how to do these things. She was just at home like, oh, I'm gonna chill because you doing this. And me not knowing, she had a best friend, everything. And so when I started to allow her to do things on her own, it started getting better for me. So I thank you and my sister Angie. I love her. I call her my sister from another mother, but I thank you for putting this on to help us. Because the community does not know. We don't know. And the more we know, the better it can be for the child and the community.
Yes. And your siblings can help. Like incorporating siblings, encouraging them to be around. They serve as, if they are neurotypical, they serve as good behavior models for your learner to learn from without you having to directly teach them everything. And like you said, sometimes when you give them that opportunity to be independent and show you what they can do, they will surprise you. They will. They surprise me sometimes. Yes. So it's rewarding. It's as rewarding as it is challenging, for sure.
To the person who asked autism and ADHD, my son has both of them, so yes.
Yes, there are, and I am a newbie CBA, so I'm still scouring resources and research and collaborating with other professionals to see how they treat ASD from an ADHD lens, because it is a little bit different. They have additional needs, they need extra time, they need extra ways to seek the sensory seeking that they might be. It just depends. Every kid is different, for sure. Every kid is different, like a fingerprint. Every kid is completely different. Even similar kids that have similar behaviors, they're very different.
Yes. Here I come.
Okay, I'm sorry I wasn't able to arrive sooner, but I'm just trying to find out about resources for adults. My son went to Detroit Public Schools and they really didn't have much to offer him. So he wanted to leave immediately and I did not force him to go.
Okay. How old is your son?
And my son is 38.
Okay.
And so I see different facilities out in other areas that I travel to, but nothing really in my community
where do you live?
that he can get involved in.
In Detroit? Are you in the city?
Yeah, we live in Detroit.
Okay.
But still, I'd like something, if I have to travel a little bit, that's fine, but I don't see that much in our
It is
community.
very uncommon to find adult support needs. It is. Everyone focuses on like the early intervention. I don't have the information to share with you right now, but I can give you my phone number and my email, and I can do some research so I can see what I can find, reach out to my professional contacts and see if I can at least point you in the right direction, either clinics in the area or programs, or even if there's like some state funded or Medicaid services that they can do like in-home care or group services.
Okay,
I can look into that for you.
that'd be great, because I was looking more for a job, training.
Okay, job training.
You know,
okay.
some skills, you know,
Okay.
that type of thing.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind and see if I can find any adult ASD friendly like vocational training in the area, and just ask around.
Okay. Because one of the things they did not do when my son was in public school is have provided resources for socialization. And that was one of the biggest things that a lot of these kids were lacking. They needed to be around other people and how to communicate and, you know, that type of thing. So hopefully things have gotten better in the school system for these children.
Yeah, it's the state funded and school funded insurance funded and school is a different world, but we make do with what we have.
Well, any more questions?
What do you want to know, Ava?
I want to know if you have a pet cat or a fish or a dog.
I have a pet cat, and his name is Oliver, and sometimes we call him Otto. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
No problem. But thank you guys for having me. You guys asked some really good questions. I feel like this was really good practice for me to be able to communicate and disseminate the science to other parents and clients that I may serve in the future. I did share with Angie my email and information if you have any additional questions, or if I can provide you with any resources that I might have or in the area, point you in the right direction at least. I can't provide clinical advice or recommendations ethically, but I can at least get you some resources or try to point you in the right direction. Yeah.
And I will also share my email. Feel free to reach out anytime. Like they said, we can't provide any clinical advice, but we can point you in the right direction for resources, different places to go, different people to see, and I'm happy to talk to anybody. So thank you.
Thank you guys for sharing yourselves with me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for thinking of me. I felt really honored when you called me.
Oh my God, bless your heart and all your parts. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming out to the Ava and Me. I am so excited. Okay, you want me in here? Bless you. Thank you. She's the boss. Thank you guys for coming here today. You guys just warmed my heart. It feels so good. But I do want to say this. My honey said what he said, but it's my turn. Okay, so with Ava, this is what was going on with her. She wouldn't give you eye contact. She wouldn't respond to her name. She would be on her tippy toes. She would do hand flipping all the time. She wouldn't play with normal toys. She would play with the remote control. She would always have to have something in her hand and walk around the home with something in her hand at all times. She did a lot of scripting. That means she would watch a program and she can wake up in the morning scripting. She will say that program over and over and over and over all day long. And I was saying, Lord, I prayed for her for 10 years. And God finally blessed me with the child of my dreams. And I was like, well, Lord, I was questioning, will we be able to do the things that a mother and daughter do, like go get your nails done together, go shopping? Could we do this? Could we do that? And I promise you guys, I like to be very transparent with my people. I thought this was not possible. Yes, I believe in God, but in that moment, I did not know that was possible because of the things that the doctors would say about her. And they said she would have autism for the rest of her life. And I really didn't know what autism was. I was looking at her like it was on her body. I didn't know what it was, so I'm just like, oh my God, Lord, what's going to happen? Everything I desire to have with my daughter, would that be? And guess what? Look at her now. She's 9 years old. They diagnosed her.
Yes, Ava.
Thank you.
She's a mini me, as you can see. God made her so unique. Ooh. Okay, go back. Go. Y'all see what God can do? Do y'all see that miracle? I'm telling you, when she was 2, I didn't know that she would be who she is today. But I just thank God. And when I had her go to ABA therapy, she went to ABA therapy for 4 years. 5 days a week for 5 hours. And I went to 2 companies, but God gave me the best company. At the time, it was Chitter Chatter. And guess who was at Chitter Chatter? Dea was at Chitter Chatter. When I met her, she was so cute, so different. Her hair was different every time I saw her. I said, okay, that's Ava. She looked like Ava to me a little bit. But I thank God for her. And because of her, look what God has done for Ava. This was all designed because of God. Sometimes it may look like it's not going to happen. You hear me? It may look like it's not going to happen. Oh, it's happening. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. And God knew that Ava and Me company, organization will meet you. And you are the one today that God is just shining his light on you, and everything is going to be okay. You hear me? Everything is already okay. You met us, and we just want to love you. You can call us anytime you want to. If you need prayer, we will pray for you. If anybody in here needs prayer, we will pray for you today. And I'm so honored. I'm so excited for today. And look what Come on now. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Sierra, for giving your time to Angie and Ava. I thank you so much. I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So guess who done walked in the building? Guess who done walked in the building? Bishop-elect Willie Elam the Third. Oh, I just like saying that. Pastor, please come up. Come on up here. Don't you do that. You come on up here. Bishop-elect. I want to show off my pastor to everyone. Look at him. Okay, look. Okay, well, walk it out. All right. Here you go, Bishop.
What should I do? I was really comfortable just sitting back there. She didn't have to. But this is a wonderful event. Can we just give God praise for Angie and Ava, Pastor Eric, and the entire team, Natalie, who all worked with the Nataki, and who else? Mariah. Let's give God praise for Lance. Lance was barbecuing or trying to barbecue, or we thank God. Let's give God another great big hand praise. Jessica, come on, y'all. Jessica was in the mix. I should have known. Where's Cherie at? She probably downstairs somewhere. But we are grateful to God for everyone. Lori, God bless you. Good to see you. Just thank God for everyone. That's the entire event, all of those who helped sponsor. We're just grateful to God for what He is doing. And this is what we're here to do. We're here to help and to do our part. I know that God has a purpose for all of us. Amen. How many believe you have a purpose? We have a purpose in this life. So we thank God, and we just appreciate what He is doing. We want to bring it back, whatever we need to do. Hopefully we can do this every year, or as much as possible. As much as possible. All right, so just grateful to God. We love everybody, appreciate everyone. I don't know what they're doing next. Angie just walked out. So Pastor Eric, I don't know who to get the mic to, but Precious, you got something to say? You? I really don't know. We're going back downstairs. Okay. Well, we love you all. God bless you. And I guess we're going back downstairs.
Say